Every day we wake up, we are one day closer to our death. I'm not being dramatic, I'm just being very honest with you. Everything we love is temporary. Every role, every title, every version of who we think we are. Now, I wanted to ask you if today didn't repeat itself again, how did you live it? Did you move towards your calling? Did you do what you love? Or did you postpone that? I was just recently in the ocean and I felt was caught up in an undertow. And at first it was subtle, then it just pulled me harder and harder. And I tried to fight it. I swam against it. I got tired. And there was a moment, a real moment where I thought, this is it. I'm going to drown. No one there in the beach was coming to save me. They didn't even bother to think maybe that something was wrong. But I remember something very simple. You don't fight an undertow. You swim to the sides. And there were signs everywhere in the beach, clear signs. I ignored them. So when I shifted direction, instead of resisting, the current released me. And I walked out thinking, how many times in life do we exhaust ourselves fighting currents because we ignore the signs, the clear signs? See, the call in our life doesn't come screaming, it typically whispers. It's a little bit unsettled. And quite often it might say, this version of you is too small. And then when we ignore it, life increases the intensity because again, it's calling on us until we either wake up or we get pulled under. I believe that what most people are missing, it's not ambition, it's inner structure. Without that inner structure, impermanence feels like danger. With it, permanence becomes initiation. And that inner structure, struck a name on me, the House of Hope. And the House of Hope is not yet a building, it's not yet a brand. It's an architecture that's inside of you. See, hope is not wishing, hope is that capacity to regulate our nervous system. It's to clarify our identity, the ability to stay steady when the current pulls. And I know I've talked about in other videos, about how Joseph Campbell pioneered the hero's journey, but it is exactly this. There's always a call, and then there comes a resistance, and then there's a threshold. See, most people, they really truly want to transform, but very few want to cross the threshold because the threshold actually feels exactly like the undertow. You know the signs, but in the midst of it, you lose control. So your title, your strategy, none of that matters. What truly matters is your internal capacity. And for me, that's where the Amazon jungle comes in, and that's what the Amazon jungle represents for me. So to me, going into the jungle is not an escape. For me, it's a crossing because you can't perform your way through it. You can't fight it. You either stay present or you fragment. And here's the truth. The jungle is not going to give you courage. It's going to reveal the courage that actually was already there, but you don't jump into the intensity being unprepared. That's why you have to build the capacity before you go in so that you don't miss the signs. So I like to open up this invitation to what I call the Amazon passage. And it begins with Alchemy of a Leader. It's an 8-week transformation based on the hero's journey, born out of Stanford University, to really help you build the identity structure, to help you regulate your emotions, to create this leadership clarity that you can look at your personal GPS and build that inner architecture. That begins in April. Then in June, we cross that threshold into the jungle, into the Amazon jungle, not to escape life, but to meet it, to actually live the hero's journey. Because once you have faced yourself without distraction, without having to put on another mask, without controlling the situation, then you come back steady. See, on one hand, you get the tools, you get the theory, I'm ready, I know how to do this. Then you go in it and you go through the ups and downs of the hero's journey, right? The resistance. But I want you to reflect on something. Right now, what are you fighting against? And don't you want to shift that direction? What signs have you been ignoring? If something bigger is calling you, are you listening? Because every single day we are closer to our death. And that is not tragedy, that's clarity. How did you live today? And do you really want to build your next inner architecture before the next wave comes in? So if you're interested in joining me in this great passage, please contact me. Go to Awaken Inner Courage. I would love to help you find that inner architecture so that nobody again tells you who you are. You will find out who you are in this great passage. I hope to see you soon.